What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 10K on the Bay, my journey to 10,000 live listings. Thanks for joining me. Today, I want to show you guys 7 examples of different business models. I think this is a super cool show. I'm doing Reseller Smackdown by myself today. Thanks for joining me. Today, I want to show you guys 7 examples of different... Sorry, I was very unprofessional. I had myself going in the background. But I am going to share 7 different models today on how you can make a great living on eBay. Every single one of the stores that I'm going to show you today ranges between $50,000 and $10 million a year in sales, to give you guys an idea of what's possible, what's going on. And if you have any questions and if you can't see the feed, just refresh. I'm going to share my screen now, and let's get into it. Okay. Let me just make sure that we are on this page. Let's get into it. I think it's good. I just want to make sure. Okay, sounds good. So this is the very first store, guys. This is AGC Online. I had mentioned to a few people that if I had about $100,000 in capital, this would be the store that I copy. The reason why I would do this type of store is because the profits are going to be either from $50 to $150 per item. So I've had a couple of people reach out to me and say, hey, I'll finance you if you want to do this model. And maybe I will take somebody's offer and we'll go ahead and run this model. I like it a lot. You're looking basically at items that range between $100 and $1,000 per item. And then basically you stock your store with about 1,000 of these items at $100 a piece. That's 100,000. You rotate your inventory 4 times a year. You can make $300,000 to $400,000 a year net. And it's hard to scale above that because you have to go build the relationships with these stores, Gucci, Prada, let's see what else they have, Alexander McQueen, all the basically the top brands available. If you had 100 grand, I think this is the best model because you only have 1,000 items in your store, but you can make between 100,000 and 500,000 a year with a relatively small store. I think this is a great model if you live somewhere like San Francisco or LA or New York or Chicago or somewhere where there's a Gucci outlet, or you can go to the retail stores and rub elbows with the managers to figure out how to get all this good stuff. Let's search high to low really quick and take a look at the good stuff. So you see that you even have items that are above $1,000, and they're buying these items. I mean, minimum, they're marking them up double. So you're looking at potentially $500, $600 sales of profit, which is fantastic. This is, in my opinion, the easiest way to make 6 figures is to sell stuff that makes high profit and spend your time sourcing. I also have Hustle Bee in the chat. He has a similar model where he's looking for $50 profit. And then if you're going for $100 profit like this store, what my girlfriend likes to do, you're gonna have to spend a little bit more to get potentially more premium items. I think Hustle Bee, his 1,000 items cost 20 to 30 grand. I would want to spend 100K on 1,000 items on the pimp stuff that sells really fast, really low returns. This person has 17,000 feedback. You can see they're only selling a couple hundred items a month, but they're making a lot of money. Look how expensive their items are. So the first model, I'm going to call this store a boutique. So boutique is my favorite store of the 7 I'm going to show you because I think it's doable with basically 0 employees. You do not need any staff. There's no headache. You can just use one debit card and just go to all these places, run it as credit, get your 1% back on your PayPal credit card. Very few transactions, very high profit, very cool. And you're looking at, I would say the average MSRP on these items is $600. So very expensive stuff. At the outlet, you can routinely get it between $100 and $200, and then you're going to discount it on eBay. No one's going to pay $600 for it, so you've got to discount it down to $200 to $400 depending on the item. Okay, this is the first model, boutique. The second model we're going to talk about today is my boy Gully Games. He does drop shipping, so he doesn't have a single item in stock. 70,310. He does not run sales. He doesn't have store categories. Very simple, guys. He's listing stuff off of Walmart, Target, or whatever retail stores. Just be warned, if you run a model like this, you're probably going to get some negative feedback, more like 22 negative feedback. It's okay though, because it's not too bad. He's at 98.4. I wouldn't be surprised if he does get back up to top rated seller. If all you're doing is drop shipping, I think it's okay. You sell a couple of hundred items a month. Depending on how expensive your items are, the margin might be there. This is one model available for people who have a limited amount of capital. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of listings. He's definitely making less money than AGC Online, but with 70,000 listings. So pretty insane, but he doesn't need $100,000 capital. All he needs is to make enough money to pay the eBay fees and just continue. And if you look on this type of model, you don't need a photography studio. You can just use 100% stock photos, right? Nothing in this store. He needs to take, he doesn't need a photography studio. He doesn't need a picture right off of the Walmart website using the same thing, drop shipping. Customers are going to get the item with the receipt from Walmart or wherever in the store, and it's fine. It's no big deal. Obviously, it's fine. Thousands of people do drop shipping. It is a legit thing. I just want to go back to the boutique really quick. These are all photos taken by the person. Here they have a mannequin. Here they have a white backdrop. None of these are stock photos. Maybe this one, but for the majority of it, in a boutique, you do not need really fancy photos or white background because people know what it is. It's a high profile item. Oftentimes a celebrity actually wears it, so you'll know what's up, and you don't need the fanciest pictures with this kind of stuff. If you're gonna go gigantic drop shipping store, I recommend stock photos so you look like a store. His store looks like Target. I mean, there's no personality, you know, other than his face right there. There's no personality in this store. And a lot of these, you know, commodity items, people aren't going to leave feedback. So we really don't know how many he's sold. Feedback left for others looks like he sold 6,250 items. Pretty good. So sold quite a few items with nothing in stock. If you want nothing in your house, this is a potential thing to do. So the first one's boutique. The second one is drop shipping. Let's move to the third one. This is Apparel Save, one of the largest stores on eBay. They do liquidation and closeout. So what they're doing is they're calling all these companies to buy wholesale or liquidation or closeout of brand new items. So people go here, they're calling out, you know, they're doing the same thing as TJ Maxx or Marshalls, but they're putting it online. So they get, you know, they go call Mizuno and they say, hey, past season, what can't you sell? Hook me up. I'm going to buy 2 tractor trailers full. And they're like, okay, sweet, that'll be $2 million. And they're like, great, write them a check. $2 million worth of stuff shows up. 150 people or whatever many people list all this stuff. And you'll see this store is crazy because they have a lot of used. They have, you know, almost 100,000 used items. And my guess is these are returns, because look at how good the quality is on all of these items. I would be very surprised if these are not customer returns from people. And I'm going to click on this for 1 second. Yes. So anytime you see multiple quantity pre-owned items, most likely is returns or refurbished or something like that. That's where these items are coming from, guys. Look at how low the margins are. $15.99 plus $9 shipping. If you were solo, I don't know if you could run this. It's just such a small, low amount of profit. And the time-wise, it'd be difficult. But if you have 13 of them, because you bought them directly from Adidas and they have these are returns, that's going to be pretty awesome. So this is one way of doing it. This definitely requires a warehouse. You're going to need a warehouse. You're going to need staff. These are gigantic operations. And from what people have told me, when you're running something this large, it's very hard to do, to have a high margin. I mean, you're looking at maybe $1 million to make 80 grand. But of course, they're doing 10 million. So if you're doing 10 million at 8% margin, that's still $800,000 in your pocket. You have 150 people working for you. Maybe somebody falls, you get sued here and there. You've got to buy, you know, a couple of company parties. You take people to Disneyland. You fly your top buyer to the Bahamas. Pay for somebody's wedding. All that stuff added in. You're under 10% margin, but you're running kind of a company. Wholesale liquidation is very cool, guys. Something you can do. Anyone can do it if you pick up the phone anywhere in the country. You'll see like these gigantic facilities, they're in the middle of nowhere where rent is super, super cheap, and they order their inventory in. And Apparel Save definitely has some some warehouses in California, because I've ordered from them to see how long it takes. It's very fast, and I have to pay sales tax, which means they have some physical inventory here as well. But I recommend if you're going to do wholesale liquidation in gigantic volume, like we're talking, let's look at this again. I think 300,000 items in stock. You better have some deep pockets and be prepared for a lot of headaches. 4,000 negative feedback in the last year. That is outrageous. That's crazy how much volume they do. Let's look at feedback left for others. 5 million transactions, guys. 5 million transactions that we know of. And that's tremendous. That's insane. I wonder if they bought anything on this account. They bought 87 things, guys. That's hilarious. I wonder what kind of things Apparel Save buys. Maybe they're buying a lounge chair because they need to take a break because they're doing so much work. Okay, cool. So wholesale liquidation is the third model. The fourth model, I want to talk about this one. This is a super niche seller. Okay, this dude, Greg Morris Cards, sells only baseball cards, 14,332 of them. Let's look at the highest first. He's probably buying out people's collections. Shout out to Thrifty Boss Babe. She wants to get her husband into the eBay game. Maybe he can copy this store. So take a look at this. This is 14,000 of the identical item, and I want you guys to see this feedback score. So 194,000 feedback this year, 0 negative. 1.7 million feedback and 100% positive. Now, this guy is really into it. When you sell one thing, I think it's possible to get something going like this, where everything is identical. You're running a gigantic robot, and you're killing it. 17,000 feedback in the last month. Like, are you kidding me? That's insane. That is a lot of feedback with 0 neutral, 0 negative, and only, let's take a look here, only 36 revised feedback. So here you have somebody who cares about customer service to the max. 17,000 transactions, 0 negative. Going back to Apparel Save, barely more, not barely more, but 4,000 more positive feedback, but 500 customers that had an issue with the item. Let's go ahead and click on some of the negative. Most likely it's like custom charges, or looks like poor customer service, not pleased with the quality. Very challenging to sell clothing, guys. You're going to get a lot of negative feedback if you're doing a lot of volume. Okay, Greg Morris Cards, crazy store. They sell one thing tens of thousands of times a month. Very, very cool. I call this a super niche. I'm sorry. I'm going to call this a one niche seller. They also do, this is also a 7-figure store. All right. And no profile picture, no store banner, no frills, just a million. Oh, actually, they do have a store banner, but $1 million store, no big deal, right? Nothing about this store is crazy. They're not using the white background. They have a blue background. Lots of auctions. Let's take a look here really quick. I mean, they didn't even rotate the picture, guys. I mean, you have to turn your head to the side to see what picture this is. Yet they're still yielding 43 bucks right here. So, guys, when you're at this level, I want to guess they have a machine that does this. But how do you get that many listings of the same thing up? It's pretty powerful. Okay. Next one is Consignment. Okay, so now we have Swapcom Inc. They do not own any of their inventory. You guys can go to swap.com and mail them your junk, and they'll throw it up on here and they'll sell it. You're talking, this is probably the lowest margin store I've ever seen. Everything is like 13 free shipping, 14 free shipping, 13, 7 free shipping. Like these, you're talking about insanely low margins, and yet they have the highest quality pictures. Almost every single one of these pictures looks like it's photoshopped. You're looking at pure, actual white backgrounds, not what people say what is white, but it's really gray, and it's this, picture in their bedroom that's not lit perfectly and not edited in Photoshop. These look like they're mass edited by somebody, because look how perfect they look. I posted a picture on my Instagram for you guys to take a look at the store. Most of the time they only have one picture, so they're going for speed above all. You're looking at a gigantic store, and some people would say, you're gonna put it on a mannequin and only take 2 photos. Well, when you have this much history, people are gonna trust you. You're looking at, okay, so around 4,000 items, 4,000 feedback in the last month or so, which is unusually low. Their sell-through rate seems like it's very, very low, and they only have 80,000 feedback left. That's a little odd because they have 1.1 million listings. So I don't know if these are all new listings. That's a little staggering. Let's scroll down here and look at the I'm curious. Let's search 200 per page. Let's try and guess how many listings they put up in the last 24 hours. So if you scroll to the bottom, wait, let me search by, I'm gonna search by newly listed and see if we can get an idea of how many they listed in the last 24 hours. Newly listed. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll down here and see. I'm just gonna guess. Wow, this is insane. Okay, well, I'm already on the third page of 200. So I'm already at 600 listings that are new just in the last 24 hours. That's ridiculous. I wonder if it's in the thousands. Holy crap, guys. I'm not gonna do the research on this, but over 1,000 items put up in the last 24 hours. That's pretty amazing. Just had a sale. I am gonna review my own store in just a second so you guys can take a look at how the Husky store is doing. I have a lot of questions there. We're looking at, wow, unbelievable. You're looking over 1,000 listings a day going up on this store. I mean, 1.1 million. Wow, that's pretty amazing, guys. This is 100% consignment. What consignment means is they're listing other people's inventory. So they have a gigantic warehouse. I believe they're in the Chicagoland area. That's amazing. So you guys that are saying, oh, I can't get my 10 listings up a day. They're getting 1,000 plus listings up a day. They're 1,000. It's just, I don't even know. I don't have words for how hard that seems. Okay, now we're going to move to the next store. And this store is Terminal 99. So this is a little bit before my time on YouTube. There's a lot of people who tell me they love this person and they used to make YouTube videos, but I missed all of that because I'm really relatively new to YouTube. But this person has 8,200 items and they're all knick-knack random items. And this is like the true bona fide picker. You know, this person's out there hunting for amazing, cool stuff in the world. And this is a great way to live, guys. If you want to go out there, let's take a look at their stuff really quick. 8,200 listings. They've got old, looks like war memorabilia. They have knives. They have ephemera, which is like old documents. They've got old magazines. You know, this is the stuff that you're gonna find at garage sales. They have 8,000 garage sale items, it seems like, estate sales, maybe auctions, storage units. This stuff is so random. And the thing is, like, it's pretty cool to have a store like this because you're gonna be, you know, running. I mean, it's insane to have a store like this. It must be a lot of fun to go around all over the country, look for different cool stuff, list it. It's almost all long tail. You guys know Scavenger Life also did a similar type of store where they just have everything. And this store is awesome. Let's look at their most expensive items, 8,200. Yeah, I saw this. This is sort of their hornbill. I'm going to put a link to all these stores in the description below so you guys can find them a little bit later. Just to get an idea. If you want to look through their stores, I'll put a link to all these stores in my description in a couple of minutes after the video is over. Just look how cool this is. They're selling jewelry, this gigantic hornbill statue. There's no watch, or I wonder how many people are actually watching this. This is a bizarre oddity statue. Well, I mean, you can price it at whatever you want. Maybe the Sultan of Brunei is like, I want that, overnight that to me for another 10,000. Or you know, book a first class ticket and have that sit in it and delivered to me by hand. I don't know. Whoever buys that, please let us know because that's awesome. We have an old school marble trash can. This is a true bona fide picker, guys. Let's look at sold and see if this person has a lot of cool stuff. Wow, look at this old school push chair wheelchair for 900 bucks, vintage pinup. Very, very cool. You're looking at huge, probably thousands of % profit. I really, really like it. This is very cool. Oh yeah, watchcount.com is cool. You can use that tool. Thank you, Vault Girl. for putting that comment in the chat. If you guys have any questions, throw them in there. I'll get to them after the chat. The last store I'm going to review is one of my stores. This is the Low-Key Husky, guys. I wanted to share this store with you because it did hit over 1,000 listings. Hit over 1,000 listings. Let's see how much active I have. So this number right here, I have $27,200 active. This does not include shipping. So let's go back to my store. If you guys can see, this store is mainly stuff I find at garage sales, shoes, clothing, and jeans. So the majority of this store, it's one of my stores, and I'm starting to really pick up some really high-end items. So the margin on the items that I'm selling is really, really good. And I'll show you guys my sales really quick, just to give you guys an idea. Today I had almost a $400 a day, which is really good because my items are all under $10. So sales are really good. I'm $1,500 in the last week. This store in the next week or so should be should be $1,000 a week profit in about a week or so. I'm getting pretty close to top rated seller, which would be the first time in my career. I can never ship on time, so I need to fix that. And I imagine once I become top rated seller, I'll sell stuff even a little bit more a little faster. Yeah, I picked up these Pokemon bags literally today at Goodwill. I love them so much. I should probably keep them, but look how freaking sweet that is, guys. It even has the Pokeball keychain. That's just like, so this is something that you should buy from AliExpress, right? You just go onto the website, order like 1,000 of these because you should be able to sell all of them. I bought 3 today at Goodwill because they only had 3. I really should just end this listing and keep both of them, but I'm gonna refrain just because I already have so much Pokemon stuff. But replenishables are great, guys. So you see I sold some New Balances here, sold some Levi's jeans. This was the cha-ching when you guys were here. Selling a lot of jeans. Sold this golf bag for $67 plus $25 shipping. Sold some shirts, sold some Ivanka Trump. These are, I think, called kitten heels. They're the small, actually they're not kitten heels, they're 3 inches. I don't know where these heels are, it sucks. Of all these listings, I actually cannot find this pair. So I need to go look for it. I sold this Temptations drink thingy from QVC. I sold these crazy looking jeans, sold some Supreme stuff. And guys, I end all of my listings. I'll show you how I do that. So I go in here, I'm going to the active, right? And you'll see here, it says quantity 0. So if I go in here and I end these listings, right? So I ended these listings. And I'm doing this on most of my stores because I don't want really people selling the same stuff as me. So I don't want to make it easy for you to copy me. So these are ended. So I want to show you what that does in just a second. But I pick up crazy looking jeans all the time and I just wait for people to buy them. So these are kind of ugly, but I figure why not? I try to take pictures of the detail and just give people an idea of what the item actually looks like. This is a horrible picture. I meant to put like the actual content of it. I wonder if I do that. Yeah, that's the picture I'm actually looking for. Nobody cares about that cleaning instructions. Okay, so I just want to show you guys that. So you can see I had 11 sales today, but when you click sold, it only shows I've sold 34 things in the last 90 days. Let me see if I refresh this. Sometimes it does. See 132 versus 36. Like, don't trust the solds, guys. You have no idea what's going on. It's pretty interesting. Once I delete all this stuff, it's going to look like I have a ninja store. You guys will have no idea what's going on. Brandon Page, what's up? I actually do not list through the eBay app. I list on eBay, the computer. So I'm going to go ahead and get back and join you guys today. So if you guys have any questions in the chat, go ahead and ask now. That concludes our review of 7 business models that make over 50,000, with the exception of my baby store. Most of those stores make 6 figures or more. Some of those stores make 7 figures. So if you have any questions on those specific ones, let me know. But I just wanted to share some different models. It is, after all, this is an episode of Reseller Smackdown. I pick which stores are going to be. Usually I review other people's stores. If you guys want your store reviewed, email me at 10konthebay@gmail.com. I'll review your store on Fridays when I do this show. I usually pick a guest. Today I just went solo because I've had so many questions from people saying, hey, I don't want to look at beginners. I want to look at people who know what they're doing. Okay, with the exception of my store, the other 6 stores are gigantic. So take a look at those ones. If you have capital, I would copy the boutique. That's the easiest store. With 1,000 items, you can make multiple 6 figures. In my opinion, that's the way to do it. All right, Duncan. Duncan says it's time for a burger. Thank you so much for typing out that list of improvements. Guys, it's really, really cool. I feel really blessed because there's people taking the time to they're writing me like a novel. Like, this is what you can do to improve your store. I looked at, these are what you can do with your pictures, your titles, your whatever. And it's like a thank you. People are saying, hey, you're making videos. I'll give you a critique. And I take all of that stuff to heart. Thank you very much. I take criticism very well. The Picker Life asks, how many returns do I get a month? My returns are like 3 to 4%. They're a little bit high. It's because I sell a lot of electronics. I do want to admit something to you guys on this call. It's very important that I come clean with this. I've been telling people that there are always bugs inside electronics at Goodwill, but that's not true. Not every single electronics is full of bugs. But I just wanted people to stop selling electronics so I can pick all the good ones. So I'm just throwing you out, it's just don't hate the player, hate the game. There's not actually bugs in every single electronic, and there's not bed bugs in clothing for the most part. And I am moving towards having a professional cleaner do it. So as you guys see my photos in the next couple of weeks, you're gonna notice a vast improvement in the presentation because I'm gonna have them professionally cleaned. I'm not gonna do, not going to use my own washer and dryer, even though I got a separate one. I got that tip from another reseller where they got a separate washer and dryer to resell to do clothing, but that's too much of a pain for me, so I'm going to skip that and use the dry cleaner down the street to professionally clean all my clothing. It's going to be awesome, and I do want to spend a couple of seconds right now telling you guys something I think is very important, which is when people are complaining, there's a little bit of drama on YouTube, and I want to just say, when people are complaining or whining or making nasty things, usually some part of that is true. When somebody's making a complaint video or something, there's probably, even if it's just 1% of what they're complaining or ranting about is true, there is one piece of it probably that has some level of truth. And I also want to say that there's a lot of pain or anguish or something also combined with that. So have some compassion. When people are complaining, don't get in their face. Don't pour your pain onto their pain and create this pain fire that reverberates all the way through YouTube. Just like have some compassion. If somebody is having a bad day and takes it out on you, just be zen about it and be like, okay, I understand you're coming from a position of pain, and what you're saying has some piece of truth in it, so I'll just take it. You don't even need to respond. It's best actually not to respond. So there's been a lot of negativity sometimes in the community, and for me, I'm not going to contribute to it or comment. I'm just going to take it. So if someone's like, hey, if a customer says, hey, as an example, Picker Life asked about how many returns I had. Today I had a return on the shirt that I put in the title, hey, second button missing, and there's no replacement button. So only buy this shirt if you have amazing chest hair that you want to show off, because it's not going to be worth repairing. If you don't have cool chest hair and you don't want the Miami look, don't buy this shirt. So the guy bought it, and he's like, it's exactly as you described, except for you put gently used, and I think it's a little bit more than gently used. So I said, okay, no problem. Maybe it is more than gently used. I should probably not use that terminology. It usually doesn't come back to bite me because it just means pre-owned, right? So it's not, gently used doesn't usually get me in trouble. But in this case, the guy said, well, it's a little bit more than gently used. So I said, okay, what percentage is reasonable for you? Do you want a full refund? Do you want a partial refund? He's probably having a bad day or coming from a bad place, because I take reasonable photos and there's no discoloration like he states, but I'm not going to spend the time to file a claim. I'm not going to call eBay. I'm just going to give this guy either a partial refund or a full refund, just move on with my day, have some compassion, not going to batter him, not going to go on Instagram and be like, this guy's such a jerk. I'm not going to do that, because there's more to it than just returning something. Oh, that's true. Ken says they just need a little bit of love. That is so true. You just got to get in there and tell people, look, I get it. You want to return the shirt because you don't like the buttons. It's okay. Just move on with your day, and it's fine. Like I just don't get riled up with returns. It's not that big of a deal. Normal wear from being worn. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, you can put like I don't put like worn 3 times. I always find that very strange. I almost want to put worn 7 times in different situations. May have slight discoloring, tears, stains, or use. Please be careful when purchasing. Items may be different colors based on what monitor you're using. And also, I mean, like, you can make your disclaimer 5 pages if you wanted to, but it's not necessarily going to help prevent returns. If you guys are still in the chat, please hit the like button. I would appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, if you have awesome chest hair, you should go all the way down to the button right here and just show it in its full glory. Um, that's true. KB says if you don't respond to a complaint, sometimes they get over it. I respond to complaints immediately. That's just me. I just say, hey, I'm sorry about that. I didn't see that. I didn't notice the giant hole in the back. My bad. I didn't notice there's a gigantic stain. Um, you know, I was just moving too quick. I apologize. I get most of my items from either secondhand stores or church sales or garage sales. I apologize. Sometimes they're not perfect. What do you want to do? Do you want your money back? Do you want a replacement? I try to give people more than one option because people don't like being stuck in a hole. You don't want to say, do you want your money back or not? That would be an inappropriate way to respond to a customer. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I respond immediately. I'm all about telling people, hey, again, I'm sorry, I messed up, I screwed up. Let me know what I can do for you. I sent the lady a Starbucks coffee before. So, okay, I sent a Spider-Man video game that I did not test, right? So the guy got it, and he said, hey, bro, this game does not work. What do you want to do? And I said, I can accept a full refund and for your inconvenience because I had no idea if it worked or not. So at this point, I'm ready to eat crow. So I'm like, sorry for the inconvenience. I can give you a full refund right now. No questions asked. You just keep the game. Or you could try and repair it. Or I can give you a partial refund and you can see what you want to do. However you want to handle it, I'm all ears. He said, let me try and fix it. He went to a mom and pop place, came back. They charged him $5.50 to resurface the CD, and it works perfectly fine. He asked me to refund him $5.50. I did. So that's something that you can do. You can go the extra mile. You can refund people anyway and say, you know what, for the hassle, the game's only 20 bucks. I'll give you your full money back. Whatever you want to do. Take all the blame. Take all responsibility. Take extreme ownership like Jocko Willink, my Navy SEAL friend. Not really my friend, but maybe my spirit animal. I would like him to be my spirit animal. I want to get to the point where I can take a picture of my watch in the morning and be like, you know what time it is. I'm not bad ass enough for that to mean anything. People would be like, I don't know what time it is. But if you're a Navy SEAL, people would be like, yeah, it's time to kick ass. I get it. Let's see. And I know. Yeah, no, I mean, people do that. People will leave you a tip. People will leave you a good review. I've had the not what I expected, not as described, overall good experience. It's like that shouldn't be a good experience, but some people, they're still cool. Um, let's see. I think what happens is for me, the best when you're doing a great job with listing, you have less questions. So it kind of goes unnoticed when you're doing a great job. When you're doing a poor job of listing, you're gonna get a lot of questions like, hey, what are the measurements? Or are you sure these measurements are right? Or how used on a scale of 1 to 10? And you can't eliminate those questions, but the better job you do of descriptions, the better job you do of pictures, the less questions you're gonna get. I don't get very many questions, guys. And I'm using that 5-second rule from Mel Robbins. So like, if I'm like, okay, this lady asked me to do an inseam measurement today on a pair of New York Jones and Company jeans. And she's like, hey, I just want to confirm, You said it's 31 inseam, and I own the same pair and it's 32 inseam. Will you confirm? And here's the thing. If I confirm, there's no guarantee that she's going to buy. I could lie and say, yep, it's 31 or 32. I could try to guess what she's looking for, which is not the way to do it. So now if I get that request on my phone, I'll immediately just go look. Why not? I don't get that many questions every day. If they buy, they don't buy. That's fine. I'm okay with doing that. I don't get butt hurt if they don't buy. You know what? It's actually better to just assume people don't tie your emotion to whether they buy or not. And if you really want to be zen, just assume nobody will buy anything, but just do it anyway. Do customer service the way you want customer service and assume nobody will buy, and you'll never be disappointed. You'll always be like, oh, great, they actually bought, or great, they didn't buy. Yeah, Mel Robbins is what's up. Audrey is in the chat. I need to visit you in New York City. I miss New York so much. I just want to go there and hang out. And I didn't know about used stuff when I lived in New York City. All I was buying was new. But go out there. Maybe I'll do a meetup in New York City. Mel Robbins is cool, and I think I love her so much. And I think I'm going to actually share some thoughts from her. She says that she has this really powerful story, and she was saying, hey, I was at a really dark place in my life. My kids were not being raised the way I wanted to raise them. My marriage was falling apart. I was financially in debt, and I would wake up in the morning. I would hit snooze over and over and over again. And every time I hit snooze, it was like compounding the problem, because now my kids are even more late. There's no food on the table. My husband's even more annoying to me, and I'm not getting stuff done. I'm late to work, and yet I still just keep hitting snooze over and over and over again. And then she sort of made this rule, like, you know what, I'm just not going to worry about it. When I wake up, I'm just going to go do something instead of whatever it is I'm doing, because I'm doing nothing in the morning. I'm hitting snooze over and over again and ruining my life. Why is it so hard to do the little things that will make my life better? And then she came up with that book, The 5-Second Rule, which basically says you have 5 seconds to go do something before your emotions take over and you do nothing. And I think that's very, very powerful, guys. And it's one of my favorite books that I've read this year, and I read about a book a week. So the 2 books, I can only remember 2 books I read this year, really. The 4 Agreements and The 5-Second Rule really stuck out. And I'm starting to read them and listen to them over and over again just to get that mentality. Mel Robbins went from lots of debt, not a good relationship with her kids, failing marriage, to like really good marriage, really good relationship with her kids, and $1 million in the bank by just changing that mentality of like, and not blocking the emotion. This is another part that she was talking about. If you're not having a good day, you're not having a good day. Don't pretend like you're having a good day, because that's going to create an ulcer or make you sick, or it's fake. Just not have a good day, but still do a lot of stuff during the day, and that'll make you feel better. And I agree with that. So I've had a lot of really negative, bad stuff happen to me lately, but I'm not going to think about it. I'm sorry. I'm going to feel bad, because that's how I feel. I'm going to feel bad, but I'm going to still do a lot of things. And that's all I can do. Like, like that's like when people say money doesn't matter. If money doesn't matter, you might as well have it. If it doesn't make you happy or not, you might as well have lots of it, because it doesn't matter. So somebody's asking, how many items can I draft up and save at a time? So there's not an official rule from eBay on how many drafts you can have, because sometimes you'll see people say, oh, I had a whole bunch of drafts disappear. And for me, that is the case sometimes. I've had drafts disappear, but recently I haven't had drafts disappear because I do a complete draft, and I'm not really drafting. So I'll do sell similar on an item, right? And I'll do that between 20 and 100 times, depending on how much time I have. I'll draft all the items that are right next to me. So right now my inventory is on the left side. I'm going to take a bin right here, draft all of it. Behind me, I'm going to photograph the items. Then I'm going to use the memory stick from the camera, plug it in here. I like transferring it with the memory card instead of using Dropbox, even though I know how to do that. And then uploading the photos immediately and then going live. And having those 20 tabs open on my computer is really annoying, and it slows down the speed of my computer. So like, if I want to waste time, I can't waste time as efficiently with all these tabs open, so I might as well get my listing done. How many can I do in a day? I can easily do 100 listings in a day by myself, and easily do it in 7 hours. You can do it faster, but I'm saying I can comfortably do 100 listings start to finish in 7 hours. And I consider that like a professional occupation. So like an accountant or a lawyer, or a doctor, they can get an X amount of work done in a certain amount of time, and that's why they get paid so much. And so that's how I consider it. If you can do 50 to 100 listings a day, I would consider you an eBay professional as far as listing. Or if you can list 0 to 20 high profit items, that's the same thing. It's just the difference between being like a surgeon and doing really specific high worth stuff, or being more of a general doctor where you're just doing a physical on someone. That's more like the difference between Banana Republic and Gucci, right? Totally different ways of listing it. One requires a lot more detail. One requires different presentation. Totally different. So Picker Live takes pictures with a phone on a draft and then finishes on PC. Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to do it. I recommend the way that you do it is the way that you consistently do it, and always be looking for ways to improve. There's a million different ways to do it. You're looking at what is that company? Swap.inc.com. That username, they put up over 1,000 listings a day, right? So over 1,000 listings a day. Some people do 0 listings a day. So in between there, you'll find your comfortable ratio. But just know that Zulily, the company, they do 9,000 listings a day. So it's possible to do 10,000 listings in one day if one company is already doing 9,000. And they have that gigantic robot that almost automates it. I think it's called, I forgot what it's called. But if you Google Zulily photo process, you can look up their system. They have a robot that basically does it for them. Stacy says money equals happiness up to 70 grand. I just disagree with that. Like I made 200 grand before, and it's totally different than 70,000. It's totally different than 70,000. It's like a difference. Like you can't, unless you're really stupid with your money, you can't spend 200,000 unless you're extravagant or you buy fancy stuff. You don't have to worry about money. At 70,000, you still have to worry about. Part of your brain thinks about money. And I think at least in California, if you make over 350,000 after tax, then you're not thinking about money. Your whole day is thinking about what you're going to do, who you're going to affect, what you're going to do. Under 350,000, you're still thinking about retirement, bills, private school or public school, college fund. Until you're netting 350,000, at that point, you're not really worried about money. I think your basic necessities, if you don't know how to be happy with 70 grand, then you're doing it wrong. But like money still plays a huge factor. Like, and what's his face? Bob Proctor, he has this exercise that's like, what if your monthly income became your weekly income? What would be different? And I like that example. So like if you make $10,000 a month, and then now you make $10,000 a week, that's a little different, right? Because now, and people's natural reaction is I would be more comfortable, but they don't even know what they would do differently. That's why the example says up to a certain point you're going to be good, and most people like $1,500 a week. You can do most of what you want to do. You can get a decent car. You can afford a mortgage in a normal place, but like it's totally different. Like if you want to do something that like the 1%ers do, like if you go on a crazy boat ride, or you want to go to Europe with your kids for 2 weeks, like you can't do that with 70,000. It's not the same thing. How expensive is dry cleaning? If I do 100 pieces, I can get it for 80 cents a piece. So I don't know if that's because they're not busy, but it depends. There's a certain load size for his piece of equipment. I think it'd be different for every single dry cleaner. Also, the majority of clothing doesn't need to be dry cleaned. It can just be laundered. That's a good question, Susan, though. I will find out. So Reseller Niche says he goes for at least 10 listings a day, 7 days a week. That's a good strategy. Luke, Endless Entrepreneurs. Guys, we are starting the 6 Tips with Luke show again on Sunday. He's been gone for a month, but he's going to come back, and we're going to do our 6 Tips show, which is one of my more popular shows, because it's 100% about process. It's not really a lot of mumbo jumbo. It's just, yeah, it's just straight up how to 6 things to help your business do better. Yeah, the 5-second rule is amazing. A lot of people saying that's good. Klaus is saying that listening to your goals every day is more motivating. That's true. For me, the goals aren't as motivating as the momentum I get from doing stuff. So everyone is different. And that's why you shouldn't rely on motivation. You should rely on action. Because like motivation changes. Something may work for you right now, but not work later. Let's see. What other questions do you guys have? Have I read Jocko Extreme Ownership? Definitely. I love Jocko Willink. He's a badass. Who wrote Your Money or Your Life? I've read that book, but it's been a long time. Photos with iPhone or camera. Mass Cafe. I only see lines with my phone if I take the photos directly in the eBay app, because the eBay app compresses photos strangely, especially stripes for me. So when I first started on eBay, I would take the photos directly in the listing, right? So I would open up the listing, sell similar, click the camera icon, take the photos, but the photos aren't square. So if you guys look at the Low-Key Husky store, every one of my pictures takes up the whole frame. So I take square photos first, and then I upload them. And it doesn't matter actually if you use your iPhone or a professional camera, in my opinion, as long as it's a 1-to-1 ratio. I love 1-to-1 ratios because it fills up the full screen on mobile. Most people are shopping on mobile now. When you start to get in a funk, you give yourself permission to be in a good mood. Yeah, that definitely works. There's people who are like power down at the end of the day so they can physically turn themselves off. And some people make the noise of a robot shutting down. Anything you need to do to actually physically trigger yourself to be in a better mood definitely works. That's right. Vicky Robin and Joe Dominguez. Thanks, Stacy. That's a good book. Your Money, Your Life, guys. I would take a look at that. A lot of people make money and they think that it's mutually like exclusive, or so you can't have money and health. I disagree with that. You can do both. And in fact, most of the people that I know that have a lot of money are also in peak physical condition and seem to be healthy and happy. Let's see. 30,000 items a year. So Just Inventory is asking what my maximum listing rate is in 1 year. I mean, it depends on what the purpose is of that. Like, I don't necessarily want to list 36,500 items in a year at $10 profit and make $365,000 in 1 year on $10 profits. Or if you were a badass and you listed 36,500 pairs of Gucci's, Louboutins, amazing shoes, and you made 3.65 million because you had $100 profit per shoe, that's pretty exciting. I haven't had a race with people to see which process is faster, but I probably should. But again, like I've found that racing hasn't been as useful to me as just consistency. Pegboard background, for what purpose? Yeah, that's true. Yvonne Flipping Easy is making the comment that the eBay internal photo edit is not very good. It's true. I mean, they should probably partner with, like Poshmark. They have a really good internal photo editing service. Like that, it seems like eBay has more resources than Poshmark, but they don't have any. Their tools to edit are very wonky, especially on mobile. I actually recommend, if you want to take eBay seriously, to not use eBay mobile at all, in my opinion, because if you're gonna race me using your phone and I'm using my computer, I'm gonna crush you. Like it's gonna be almost twice as fast doing it on the computer versus mobile. Because just the latency of the photos loading into by the time your photos upload, I'm already like 3 or 4 listings ahead of you because I can upload the photos work on the rest of the listing, open up a new tab, start working on the next listing, and your photos won't even have uploaded yet. I guess it depends on your phone and how many pictures you take also. It depends on what kind of items you sell. If you're selling brand new items, you could probably list 200 to 500 video games in one day by yourself with your phone on Amazon and eBay super fast. Scan, price done. Scan, price done. So it just depends on what types of items also. I like wood backgrounds for me, but I like boutique stores. If I was running a liquidation center, I would do white background because those stores are based on volume. Like you want consistency, everything the same. I want a little bit more of a boutique feel. So there's more artistic way of, I think flat lays actually look better when done properly than mannequin. Maybe they don't show the fit, but I think it looks better. That's why I like doing it. How do I determine a death pile? For most people, the definition of a death pile or a money pile or a reseller bank account or savings account is just a pile of items that hasn't been listed yet. Whoa, crazy. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's true. Ken is saying value of items is probably a better measurement. I would say the best measurement is the profit that you list per day. So my goal is to list $1,000 profit per day. So that's where I want to be. With staff, my goal would be $2,000 a day with one helper. That was my photographer asking if he can start on Monday. And I'm mentally not ready to go to the next level. There's a little bit of a mental block I have, like to get from where I am to where my 10,000 item goal requires I list and sell 1,000 units a month. I'm sorry, a week, 1,000 units a week. And I'm not mentally there. I'm just not can't mentally grasp doing that yet, even though I already know how. I just need to, it's like, and the person that's at 10,000 or 1,000 items a week, he's thinking, he or she is thinking to him or herself, how do I get to 2,000 listings a week? And they can't imagine that. That's why I like the process of fantasize for what you want to do, then theorize, like, how are you going to do it? And then try and do it. So, and then repeat that. Yeah, profit goals are good. I am using InkFrog for my virtual assistants, so I'm testing that. I don't think I need virtual assistants. I'm just testing it right now because there are people reaching out to me that want to do the wholesale liquidation model, which is not my favorite model on eBay, but I want to learn how to do it anyway, and that requires VAs because if you're going to be pumping out thousands and thousands of listings, you need cheap help. And VAs can get into the groove and do really well. That's the only reason I would use InkFrog. And the syncing of data from InkFrog in through the eBay API, I just believe that in that transition, some of the data is lost or mixed up. And so listing eBay native is preferable to me. That's why I have a photographer and not a drafter yet, because I don't want to give up access to my account. I want to do the drafting. James, my photographer, is going to do the photography. I'm going to upload the photos, and that's going to be the process right now. Thanks, Karen. Have a good night. Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Dan, for stopping by. Do I do Amazon merch? Hustler Hack, shout out to Glenn. He's made designs for me. I still haven't put them up, though. I really need to get on the Amazon merch. I've been approved for a long time. Probably going to lose my account if I don't upload something. It's just not, it's not my main thing. All right, guys, we are right at an hour. Does anybody else have any more questions? I'm gonna hop off and get some more listing done. My girlfriend comes back tomorrow from her trip, and I will be not as available. So let's see. Yeah, 50% profit is doable. I have like an 88% profit on the like 88% profit before shipping on my items. Which bulb should you buy for your desk lamp? You should wear a headlamp. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. That's I really have. You mean lamps for your photo setup? I would say 5,500 5500 watts. Yeah, Yvonne, I'll get on my Amazon merch. And it's like, I already have 3 good things going. I just don't want to screw them up by adding a 4th thing. And you know what happens when you try to ride too many horses? You end up riding none. Yeah, let's see. Well, yeah, guys. All right, I'm going to hop off. If you guys have any questions, email me at 10konthebay@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't. I will see you guys on Sunday with Luke at 4 p.m. Thanks, guys.